What's up, folks, and welcome to Indie Ramble. So, I got a really cool platformer for you guys today. I played the demo for this back on a previous Steam Next Fest and was really excited about it then, and now that the full game is out, I can dare say this is one of my favorite games so far this year, and that's not something I say lightly. So, this is Tinykin, and it comes to us from a small team in France. This is not their first game, but they're relatively recent studio. And the best way to describe it is, honey, I shrunk the PIKMIN. Yeah, this is another game that wears its inspirations right out in the open, but it does some pretty cool things with it. I would say that as platformers go, this is not particularly hardcore. This isn't a hard game. It's just a really fun, sort of chill experience. So, the premise behind this is you're a scientist who accidentally went through a device, and now you're in this weird world that takes place in somebody's house, and you're really tiny, as you can see. The environments in this are really cool. The sense of scale and the way that they built that into environment traversal and platforming is really, really cool. This game also runs like an absolute dream. I'm playing it on PC. It is out on the consoles as well, and at least on PC, it runs buttery smooth. I've had no crashes, no other problems like that, despite the fact that it looks really good, I think. You know, especially these environments, really looks incredible. And we're a few levels in here. This is kind of I just entered into a new area here, but I'm trying not to spoil too much of this because, you know, the story in this has been interesting so far. Again, it's very much Pikmin. You're this scientist, you ended up here, and you're trying to rebuild a vessel with which to get yourself out of here. That's the idea behind it. So, very, very much a Pikmin thing. It's kind of funny because I streamed this game first, and the day I streamed it was literally the day that Nintendo announced Pikmin 4, which is kind of amusing and totally unrelated, but... So you're going to go through the environment here, and there's a number of minor environmental traversal puzzles that you have to solve. There's no combat in this, at least there hasn't been so far. So it does vary from Pikmin in a few ways like that. There are, the puzzles I find are a little lighter, and there is no combat to deal with, no enemies to get rid of. This is all about getting through the environment and to find the bits you need, and also if you want, there's a ton of optional collectible stuff in this. So, you're going to see here that I have a number of different Tinykin with me, and they're all different colors. So you're going to unlock different ones as you go through. They all have their own little video intro, which is absolutely adorable, and I really like it. So the pink guys are kind of your muscle. They will pick up objects that you find in the environment and move them around. Anything that you can interact with is highlighted for you. You have the red ones, which are explosive, and those have to be replenished after they've been used. The blue ones can conduct electricity, and you're going to see here that we have a use for them. And the green guys, by holding down the right trigger, do that. They basically build you ladders. And you, as yourself, have this little balloon ability that allows you to float down. You will level that up so that you can do it for longer, and that will become very critical later, because one of the things in this game, your guy, or rather his EV suit, he doesn't like water. So, for example, here's something right here that I can see is outlined in pink. Now, I don't know what this is, but the little dudes pick it up, and they will carry it around until we get to a place where it can be used, and then they'll use it for you. They follow you around really, really well. I'm sure there's some magic that goes on behind the scenes here to make sure that, you know, they're probably teleporting around when you can't see them so that they don't get caught in the environment or things like that, but that's perfectly fine. So here's a puzzle that we can use the blue guys for. Also, there might be additional Tinykin here that I'm not even aware of at this point, because we actually haven't, like, I'm not all the way through the game. I haven't finished it yet. So this is one of those ones where I'm doing first impressions. Okay, so you got to hook the outlet to the wire. So there we go. And what you do with these is you chain them together, as you can see. So, and you got to build a line between the two sources of electricity to carry the current, because this is how electricians work. And by doing this, and you have a limited number of them to do, so sometimes you really want to make sure that you want to extend out to the longest amount you can so that you can activate them all. So there we go. And they are used up now, much like the exploding guys. Until you no longer have a need for this electricity, you have to keep them around in order to do that. You also have this really awesome traversal, quick traversal thing, which is that you ride on a bar of soap. Given the size of the environments, I'm really glad they put this in here from a quality of life perspective. Totally wasn't necessary to have you able to float around on something like this, but it just makes it feel like the game really respects your time, and I really appreciate that. So I don't think I have enough green guys. Oh, I did have enough green guys to get up here. You also have this stuff, which is called pollen, and the more of that you collect, the more upgrades you unlock for various things. There's a little vendor in here, and there's also different upgrades you can get. There's also different collectibles that you can put in kind of a museum thing in here, and that unlocks that can get you some other interesting stuff as well. So there are actually, it looks like we're gonna learn about a new Tinykin together right here, I think. So as yet, I don't understand what's going on with this house. Okay, no, those are the electrical guys. They look like they were more of a white color. So I don't know what's happening here yet. Like, I haven't actually met a person in this house yet. I don't know what their relationship to the Tinykin are. I don't know what this house is like. I assume that gets fleshed out more as you go on. I certainly hope it does. But the story to this is very simple, but you're really seeing right here sort of the meat of this. This pollen, you don't have to collect it all, but there's a ton of it in every level. And the other cool thing as well is that there is a hub area that you can choose to return to, and you can actually go back to prior levels, and you're going to have to do that sometimes because there are some levels where you can't actually get through everything until you have certain abilities unlocked. You can't take your Tinykin with you between the levels. They will stay behind, but any that you had available to you in the prior level when you left will still be there. So this is a secret. Gives me a big boost of pollen. So yeah, it's very well thought out in that regard, and you can traverse back and forth, and you can do, you know, kind of whatever you like here. So it gives you this little breakdown of everything that you have. It shows you your past objectives that you can go through, as well as the different areas and how much of each kind of thing you've collected there. So you see there's also those tags that you can collect. I don't have them all in a lot of the areas. I don't have all the pollen in all the areas. You know, there's a lot you can do. So there's the museum and what's called the brewery. These are, again, the different things that you unlock as you go. That's the achievements and the settings as well. So you can spend a lot of time wandering around here, not doing your objectives and just collecting stuff if you want. And I'm a guy who I like collectathons to a point. I like collectathons a lot, but collectathons can also be overdone. I don't tend to like stuff like the Banjo-Kazooie games because I think they go a little too far with it. I don't think Tinykin does. I think Tinykin actually does the collectible stuff very well. There isn't too much of it. There isn't too little of it. And they space it out in such a way where when you're looking around the levels, you're always like, oh, it's, you know, there's a thing over there. Ooh, shiny. You know, it has that little distracting effect on you. But none of the levels are so big and daunting that you feel like if you go too far off the beaten path that you're going to get lost, or that you're not going to fulfill your objective, or that it's going to be a pain. Because not only can you jump around or slide around on the soap bar, you can do things like this. These little ropes that make it easy and quick to get back to prior explored areas are all over the place. And it makes it really easy if you make the point of unlocking those. It makes it really easy for you to go, okay, I wandered off the beaten path for a while doing all this, but I want to get back here. Oh, it's easy. You know, really like that. This game doesn't waste your time, and I really enjoy that. This obviously does share a lot in common with Pikmin, but this is more of a more casual title, or a title. I wouldn't say it's made for young people. I ain't a young person, trust me. And I've been playing this and really enjoying it. But it's definitely not, like, Pikmin can get quite challenging, especially in the later levels, as you deal with combat and the fact that your Pikmin in that game can actually die, and then you have to get more. There is no combat in this. Your creatures in this are basically permanent, and while they disappear when you've used them, you are only ever given as many as you actually need to complete your objective. So you're never going to find yourself in a situation where you can't solve something because you've run out of Tinykin, and where you're like, oh crap, now what do I do? So it's far less punishing than that. And this is a game I could hand someone who, like, it's the controls are simple to understand and learn and pick up. There aren't a million buttons to this. This is a game I could hand someone who doesn't really play games and say, here you go, enjoy, and they'd figure it out. I know my girlfriend has enjoyed what she's seen of this, and I'm thinking she has my old Xbox One X at her place, so maybe I'll see if she wants to give this a go. This would be something that's cool for her. And yeah, this is on, at time of recording, this is also on Game Pass, which is fantastic. So I'm actually playing the Steam version because that's the version I was hooked up with a code for, but it is available there as well. So it's very easy to try out for yourself if you want. And yeah, you're really seeing sort of the meat and potatoes of the experience here. You know, the story is very simple, but it's very cute. The characters are neat. The writing is good. There isn't a lot of it. The game says... So these guys are like little traversal things as well. So the game doesn't say a lot. It uses dialogue very well. It doesn't overspeak. It doesn't say more than it needs to. And yeah, it's a simple, cute story, and that's really all they were going for. And that's all I need, you know? I don't need something... So these are some extra guys that we're going to free. There we go. So that's all I need out of a game like this, you know? And it's just a really enjoyable experience. It's cute. It's funny. You're just doing all of these really cool things in really cool environments. You know, it nails the sense of scale extremely well. And it's just been... Oh, there we go. Got an achievement for that. And it's just been a really fun time that keeps a smile on my face. And, you know, I love my quote-unquote hardcore games. You know, I love the stuff that's a little harder. I love the stuff that pushes technology. You know, I love interesting mechanics. You know, I mean, I'm a big fan of boomer shooters, you know. But sometimes you just want a game that's just some nice, lighthearted fun and really enjoyable, and that just makes you smile and also feel like you've done some cool things. And that's what this does. There are not necessarily a lot of game devs out there who can nail this feeling and experience the way that Splash Team has. I think they've actually done a phenomenal job with this, and that's why, despite the sheer number of amazing games that have come out this year, many of which I've covered here or over on my stream, this has been one of my favorite experiences so far this year. Now, the game I played immediately afterwards probably eclipsed it for my game of the year to date, and we'll probably talk about that soon. But this is still an absolute delight, and that's why I wanted to do a video on this before I finished it, because I knew, like, 10 minutes into this game that I was going to love it and that I wanted to finish it. And yeah, it's not going to be for everyone. Is it simplistic? Yeah. But is it challenging? No. And there are people out there, and this is perfectly valid, there are people out there for whom, if a game doesn't really challenge them significantly or really make them sort of work for their victories, that they don't find that fun. And that's fine. I have my moods when I'm like that too, right? So that's why I wanted to show this off, because I don't believe this game is getting the attention it deserves. I think it should have a lot more hype behind it than this. I think there's a lot of people who like platformers and who just, you know, are looking for something Pikmin-like, but not quite Pikmin, while they wait for, you know, the newly announced Pikmin 4 to come out. And I think this could... Ooh, another achievement. I think this could satisfy that for people. It will provide a decent... According to How Long to Beat, it will provide a decent amount of gameplay time. It's not uber short, but it's not uber long. Obviously longer if you want 100% the whole lot, which, given the collectibles in this, it's not, like I said, it's not Banjo-Kazooie levels of crazy, but if you want to get everything, you're going to put in some work, without a doubt. But it's a very good, you know, once you've done that, it's a very good game to, I call it second screen. You know, if you want to play this while you watch something on your second monitor or your laptop or your tablet or whatever, you know, it doesn't need your full attention the way a lot of other games do. It's something where you can just say, yeah, while I watch this new Netflix show, I'm just going to go and explore around and, you know, mess about and see what I can find. It's great for that. And those are experiences that I like too, because I have a very, very busy life. And a lot of the time, if I'm doing something like watching a Netflix show or whatever, I like to try to be doing something else at the same time and kind of, you know, killing two to-do list birds with one stone, if you will. And not every game is well adapted for that. This one totally is. So, you know, I hope I've shown off here what I think is cool about it. You're looking at the core mechanics here. I'm sure more will be revealed the further I get into it, but it's rare when a game can grab my attention so instantly as this one did. You know, when I played the Steam Next Fest demo, I played this I played the Steam Next Fest demo and I was hooked on this within minutes. Whereas a lot of other games, including games I really like, will sometimes take a bit to really get their hooks into me. This was almost immediate because I just saw the aesthetic and how well it ran and how tight the controls were and how well the platforming worked. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is it. Because platformers are one of my favorite genres. And I was just like, yep, I am all over this. And I haven't regretted a moment of it since. If I didn't have to work the day after my last stream, I probably would have played this until I finished it in one go. That's how much I've enjoyed it. So if that's not a ringing endorsement, I don't know what is. So yeah, that is Tinykin. It is out now on all the major consoles, and at time of recording, it is on Game Pass. I cannot recommend it enough. If you've got Game Pass, and you should because it's the best value in gaming, absolutely give this a go. See if I can pick this up. Oh, you lose it if you pop. Ooh, that's a devious one. Okay, I'm gonna have to think on that one. So, yeah, if you have Game Pass, you got nothing to lose. So download it and give it a go. But I really think that this game deserves a lot more hype than it's getting, and that it's something a lot of people should have on their radar, because I think there's a lot of fans out there who would love this game who maybe don't know about it yet. And frankly, that's kind of why this channel exists. So yeah, that is Tinykin. Go give it a go. I love it, and it's a game that I recommend almost anyone give a go to, because I think a lot of people would like it. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you liked what you saw here, please do all the normal YouTube things, like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment down below. Tell me, what do you think about this? Does this interest you? What other good platformers are out these days that you really like, 3D, 2D, or otherwise? And, you know, do you agree that, are you a more hardcore player who also agrees that there is a time and a place for more lighthearted, casual experiences like this? I'd love to know about that. And as always, you can follow me over at twitch.tv/pxabstraction for multiple variety streams a week. I cover other indies and retro stuff over there, including some things that you won't see here on YouTube. We have a fantastic community there, and I would love to see you be a part of it. Thanks again, everyone, and I'll see you on the next Indie Ramble. You folks have yourselves a good one. Take her easy.